Hello everyone, welcome back to the Tea Time channel. Welcome to our first video on this channel in a very, very long time. It's been coming and we have been saying for quite a while now that this is going to be season 3 of the Tea Time channel. We'll explain in our next podcast or maybe in just a different video what that means. But today I'll be alone without a Viv and I'll be I'll be looking at every Premier League team's best player from this international break. Now this video is going to split into two parts. The first part is going to be the top 10 teams in the table today, and then the second part will be the rest, the other 10. So let's get right into it. First, Arsenal, Bukayo Saka. Now, there were two candidates for Arsenal here, either Bukayo Saka or Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka captained his Switzerland side to a 5-0 defeat over Belarus, where he got a goal and an assist. And he captained his Switzerland side to a 3-0 win over Israel. But the plaudits here have to go to Bukayo Saka. What a player he is turning out to be. He started in both of England's wins. In a 2-1 win against Italy, he played 85 minutes, and in a 2-0 win against Ukraine, he played the full 90. Now, the game against Italy, he was decent. He had 45 touches, 2 out of 2 successful dribbles. He made 6 recoveries, and he won 6 out of 8 ground duels. However, the game against Ukraine is where he really, truly shone. Against Ukraine, Bukayo Saka whipped in a perfect cross into Harry Kane and got the assist in the 37th minute. And in the 40th minute, he received the ball from Jordan Henderson on the half turn and released an absolute belter into the top left corner. Maybe one of his best career goals to date. It was incredible. He created 3 chances that game. He was fouled 4 times, the most in the match. And he won 8 out of 10 ground duels, which was also the most in the match. Now, this might be cheeky. This might be a little bit, maybe far-fetched. But is Bukayo Saka the best right winger in the world? That's the question that has to be asked now. Manchester City. We've gone for Kevin De Bruyne. Now, there were a few players as well for Manchester City who played well in this international break. Akanji kept 2 clean sheets in Switzerland's Euro qualifiers against Israel and Belarus. Rodri had a couple decent games when he nearly injured Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard and probably injured Scottish left-back Kieran Tierney, which is a huge plus for Manchester City and a huge minus for Arsenal in the title race. Another player who played well for Manchester City was Bernardo Silva, who managed to get 2 goals and an assist against Luxembourg and Liechtenstein. But unfortunately, we are going to go for Kevin De Bruyne, captain of the Belgium side. He captained his side to 2 wins, one in a friendly against Germany 3-2, and a 3-0 win against Sweden in a Euro qualifier. In the Euro qualifier, he made 36 out of 40 passes, created 4 big chances, the most on the pitch, made 5 passes into the final third, the most for Belgium, and 4 out of 6 accurate long balls. And in the friendly against Germany, which was even more impressive because the numbers were better and it was against a better opposition, De Bruyne had a goal and 2 assists, made 6 passes into the final third. He had 2 out of 2 long balls, 3 chances created, and that was the most in the match. Now, obviously, we expect this creativity and this chance creation from Kevin De Bruyne, being one of the best number 10s in the world. But it is absolutely unbelievable numbers. So great from the Belgium captain. Manchester United, Scott McTominay. Wow. Just wow. 4 goals in 2 games, and he didn't even play both of the full games. He scored 2 goals against Cyprus in Scotland's 3-0 win and the 2 goals in Scotland's 2-0 win on Spain. He played 23 minutes against Cyprus and I believe the full 90 against Spain. All 4 goals were very, very similar. Very, not identical, but similar in fashion. McTominay arrived late into the box from whipped-in cross from Scotland. 3 of those goals he hit with a first-time touch straight after arriving late in the box. And then the first goal against Cyprus, he actually took a few touches, beat a man, and a left foot shot to the near post to score his first goal out of the 4. To put that into context, how incredible this is, McTominay scored 4 goals in the last 3 days for Scotland, and for Manchester United, he scored 3 goals in the last 15 months. It's very, very incredible. In the game against Spain, he didn't touch the ball too much in his full 90 minutes because Spain dominated the game with 75% possession. However, it was those late third man or fourth man, sometimes even fifth man runs into the box to that penalty spot where the Scottish wingers and fullbacks found him, and they found him very, very well. After the game, it was quite funny. He was quoted as saying, "As a kid, I was an attacking midfielder, but then I got too tall." He said, "I like to get in the box and help my teammates. I can add more goals and assists to my game." Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Kane. The England captain scored 2 goals in the 2 games against Italy and Ukraine. He scored from the penalty spot against Italy, and he scored a header from the Bukayo Saka cross against Ukraine. Those were his 54th and 55th goals for England in his 81st and 82nd games for the Three Lions. This takes him past Wayne Rooney for the top goal scorer of all time. Prior to this, they were tied with 53 each. Now Harry Kane has passed him. What's very interesting for the Tottenham Hotspur striker is that he's only 29 years old, and given his game style, which is very smart, very switched on, he play makes a lot, he makes the right decisions, finds himself in the right spots, he doesn't rely on his athleticism. And that is something that could be huge for Kane, because given he's 29, he can keep playing for maybe 5 more years at the highest level, operating in the role he is playing now and scoring loads of goals and breaking loads of records for Tottenham Hotspur and England. The question has to be asked, though, and this is a question that Tottenham Hotspur fans probably hate every time they hear it, but when do we start questioning whether or not Harry Kane's talents are being wasted in North London for that specific North London team? There's rumours of him going to Manchester United. Is that a smart move for United? Is that a smart move for Kane? A lot of people say that Kane must win trophies, and I think I agree with that. Newcastle United, we go for Martin Dubravka. The Australian in me really wants to go for Loni Garankuol. He is currently on loan in Scottish team Hearts for the rest of the season. He played against Ecuador in both times that Australia played Ecuador in this international break. He played 33 minutes in total, but the highlight for Garankuol was his goal. Whilst it was a tap-in, it was his first goal for the Australian national team, and something that will really boost his confidence, give the 18-year-old that extra little bit of motivation to keep scoring goals for Australia and hopefully earn a spot in the Newcastle side. But unfortunately for me and for all the fellow Australians, we must go for Martin Dubravka. He was in goal for both of Slovakia's Euro qualifiers, and he kept a clean sheet in both, drawing 0-0 to Luxembourg and winning 2-0 against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Now, he didn't have too much to do. Across the 2 games, he made 3 saves, 2 of them being from inside the box. He faced a total of 0.57 XG on target, which again isn't too much, but considering those were his 3rd and 4th games of the season, it's quite impressive that he kept 2 straight clean sheets. Liverpool, Andy Robertson. Liverpool's left-backs had quite an international break. We'll talk about Andy Robertson in a second, but it's important to note that Tsimikas had a great game for Greece against, I believe it was Gibraltar. Now, quite interestingly, there were 390 fans in attendance in this game. 390 total. That is absolutely nothing. But anyway, I digress. Greece beat Gibraltar 3-0, and Tsimikas had an excellent showing, touching the ball 104 times and making 14 passes into the final third. He completed the most dribbles, created the most chances, and won the most duels in the match. Another Liverpool star that should be noted for their international break is the Egyptian king Mohamed Salah. Whilst his games were against Malawi, he did score a goal and provide an assist in both games, adding his goal contribution tally to 4 for this international break. Robertson, though, another Scottish player on this list. Scotland's captain was able to play absolutely incredible in their clean sheets against Cyprus and Spain. He created 3 chances across the 2 games, 2 of which being big chances. Andy Robertson also made 10 passes into the final third in both games combined, and he pushed his Scotland side on the right path to qualifying for the Euros in a tough group, which has Scotland, Spain, Norway, and Georgia. Brighton and Hove Albion, Evan Ferguson. Wow, this is absolutely incredible. One to watch for the future, a great wonder kid. The 18-year-old Irish bloke started his first game for the Republic of Ireland's national team. He started in both their 3-2 win against Latvia, which was a friendly, and their 1-0 loss in their Euro qualifier for France. The Euro qualifier for France was a little bit more quiet for Ferguson, as you'd expect that France completely dominated Ireland, and he struggled to even make register one shot. However, he scored his first goal for the Irish national side in their 3-2 win against Latvia, something that he will truly cherish and remember for a very, very long time in his career. He is one to watch for the future of Brighton, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how De Zerbi integrates him for the future of Brighton and for the rest of this season. Brentford, Aaron Hickey. Yes, we've gone for another Scotsman, but we have to applaud and congratulate them for their brilliant international break. To be honest, I was grasping at straws a little bit for the Brentford side. Not many of their players were sent on international duty, and the players that were sent didn't all play. They had a few for Denmark, Damsgaard, Jensen, and Norgard. None of them really created much or did too much for the Danish side. They had Ivan Toney, who only played 7 minutes for the Three Lions. They also had Wissa, who was the only Brentford player to register a goal or assist during this international break, but given it was for the Democratic Republic of Congo against Mauritania, I thought that Aaron Hickey's international break was more impressive. He also started both games for Scotland in their 3-0 win and their 2-0 win against Cyprus and Spain, respectively, and he helped them keep those 2 clean sheets, of course. He won 4 out of 6 ground duels against Cyprus, and he made a pass into final third in both games. Fulham, João Palhinha. Now, this is something that you would probably expect, given that Fulham's central defensive midfielder is one of the best central defensive midfielders in the world. Truly an underrated player, in my opinion. His stature, his ability to shoot from range, his ability to make passes forwards, not just backwards and sideways, truly impressive. In fact, it's pretty impressive that a Fulham player, no disrespect to Fulham, but a Fulham player starts both Euro qualifiers for Portugal. Portugal beats Liechtenstein and Luxembourg 4-0 and 6-0 respectively, and João Palhinha played in both of those games. In the 6-0 win against Luxembourg, João Palhinha got an assist to Bernardo Silva's goal, and in that same game he was the most fouled player on the field 4 times. He registered the most tackles on the pitch. He registered 2 tackles. He won the most duels, 8 of them. He made 54 out of 56 passes, and 8 of those passes were into the final third. That means that he only misplaced a pass twice in 90 minutes. That is incredible numbers. In the game against Liechtenstein, he registered another 6 passes into the final third and won 16 duels in total, both aerial and ground duels. That was the most on the pitch, as you'd expect. And again, 16 duels for a Portuguese side, which is filled with talent. That is very impressive from João Palhinha, and Fulham have definitely got someone that they can build their team around, if he stays, build their team around for years and years and years to come. Chelsea, Romelu Lukaku. Yes, did you forget about him? Do you remember him? Because honestly, I kind of forgot about him. With 3 goals in 15 league games for Inter Milan this season, Romelu Lukaku has been quite disappointing and has not really made the impact that Inter Milan fans would hope, or that Chelsea fans would hope, given he's coming back to them at the end of this season. However, he seems to be very, very consistent for Belgium, despite his inconsistencies at club level. I mean, aside from the 2022 World Cup, where he had that absolute stinker of a second-half performance against Croatia, he's been one that Belgium can always rely on, and they relied on him this international break. In Belgium's 3-0 Euro qualifier win against Sweden, he scored a hat-trick and in their 3-2 friendly win against Germany, he scored another goal. Quite interestingly, he actually is Belgium's all-time top goal scorer, with 72 goals in 106 games for Belgium's national side. Is he the man that can solve Chelsea's striker problems next season? For me, it's probably no. Again, he's only scored 3 goals in the league this season, and the most recent season where he was quite consistent and scored a lot of goals was only 2020-2021, where he scored 24 goals and got 11 assists in the Serie A, meaning that by the start of the 2023-2024 season, it would be 3 full calendar years since he's had consistent performances at a club level. So for me, he's not the guy for Chelsea. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really enjoyed filming it, and I think that it was very, very interesting talking about the top 10 Premier League sides' best player from the international break. Make sure you check out the part 2 of this video, where we'll look at the likes of Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Leeds, and all the other bottom side teams in the Premier League, because it's important that we don't just talk about the big 6 and the big performances, because we like to mention all the teams on the Tea Time channel. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching again. Make sure that you watch the podcast that we've got coming soon. Peace out. Thank you.